Welcome back, sports fans. Here we go, another video. On this, we are going to look at the marathon. So, what we're going to do first is to do the marathon. We're actually going to look at the 1500 first, and there's a reason. I'll go through this. So, we're going to do the 1500 meters. Right. So we're just going to quickly go through the 1500 meters. Sorry. Because what we want to do is go through stadium view. And I think it's something that needs to be edited within the game. I'd love to know your opinion. Oh, we've got a perfect start. And I'm putting this to the test because this is ×3. Right, we know we've got the system of +1, -1. Okay, there we go. +1. So for a good round, there we go, back to 0. Oh, and +1 again. And what we want to be is 0 or -1. Because we should be doing these taps. There should be no excuse for not doing the taps. The tap and hold's a bit harder. That's what gets you the plus and minuses. And it, oh god, -2. Oh, sorry, +2. But it allows you to very easily know if you're on a good run or a bad run. Oh, a little bit too long. Oh no, early. I knew that was early. +3. Okay, so we're finishing +3, so this won't be a personal best. And that was poor on the last. You should always get that perfect. There we go. In normally 3:27. Yep. So you could argue there that there's a +4. Each plus is what, worth maybe 0.1, somewhere in that region. Maybe slightly higher. But what we were doing there is we were looking at the 1500 meters and we're looking at the camera view. Now, let me just quickly open this box and quickly unlock that one. So now we're going to switch to the marathon. Now the marathon, as we know, it's a different way of looking at it. You do the first bit and then we'll get into the stadium piece. And it really is looking at the stadium piece and it is looking at the camera angle. This is what I'm trying to show. So let's hopefully get it perfect. There we go. We're trying to show that when you do the marathon, it runs slightly quicker than the 1500. Yet the camera angle is closer, which actually makes it harder. So they either need to slow it down or zoom the camera out. Because without doing that, it makes the final lap on the marathon a bit of a lottery as to what you're going to get goods, what you're going to get perfects. I doubt anyone does perfect the whole way round. It's pretty hard. You may well have done. And if you have, well done, but it is not something I would personally say many people have ever done. So we're in section 2, I think, at the moment. Yeah, we are. Okay, I should not have checked which section we're on because that threw me off for that one. Should be a perfect, so yeah. So yeah, we're really going to focus on the camera angle, and this last lap is going to go quick. So we might have to review it at the end of the lap so I can have a little concentration on that. Although this is not going to be a world record based on the number of goods versus perfects. You really can only afford 1 or 2 goods in this section. Okay, and now we're going to go into the stadium view. So remember, look how zoomed in versus the pace. Now, that is ridiculously zoomed in. We need it to come out at least the same distance again. I mean, oh. It's so, you know, I was on a good run there and then you muck it up on one of them. Now, look how much more zoomed out it is now. And this is the problem with the marathon at the moment. So you come into the stadium, you're really zoomed in, and then as you get to that final straight, you zoom out. If anything, it should be the other way round. Either that or they've got to slow it down, because there's no way that you can... there is a way, obviously, but there's no realistic way that you're going to get that perfects all the way around, which you should always have a chance of. And I know there is a chance, but it is ridiculously hard for what it is that we're trying to do. Is the marathon broken? I don't know. Maybe it is, based on how it's done. They really do need to look at the zoom, though. They need to zoom out so that you've got a much greater area of visibility. You can see the tap and presses a lot quicker. You really have to have, you know, pretty good reactions to be able to get through all of that with perfects the whole way through. As I said, I don't think that is the case, that people are doing that. If they want to keep it zoomed in, I would suggest they slow it down. The pace of it, I don't think it's really a ×4. It feels like a bit of a 3.5 versus the 1500. It's definitely quicker than the 1500. I have timed how long it takes to do a lap. So it's definitely not the same pace. But personally, I think they need to zoom it out. I'm happy to keep the pace as long as we zoom out. But that initial bit on the marathon, it's ridiculously zoomed in. So that is something I think that they need to fix. I don't think it will be a quick fix. I think it will take longer. I think this is something that will be 2-3 months further down. Slight bit of development work. Go and test it. But I do think it needs a bit of a reworking. I also think that they could probably do the marathon. Maybe not the marathon, but they could definitely probably on the 5 and 10k run them a little bit similar to how they do the steeplechase, with the zoom up, slows down as you get closer to the bits you need to press. So I think there's also some improvements to do on the 5 and 10k, because that initial bit and just coming in, you know, the 5k you come in for the last like 150-200 meters, which seems madness. Why would you not come in for the final lap in the same way that you do for the 10,000 meters, in the same way that we do for the marathon? But if you look at the zoom levels, they are completely different. So, you know, I think there's inconsistencies in how the marathon is run versus other events. I am going to say it's slightly broken. I'm going to put my neck on the line. Let me know what you think. Stick your comments in below. Hit the bell icon and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Getting closer to 500 people. So, you know, once we get to 5, then we get to 1,000, and then that's it. We go on beyond. The more of you subscribing after watching means the more content, obviously, I can get done for the wider community. We'll look into some other things in a minute, you know, across, but I think just generally, as I said, marathon broken, maybe not. I'm going to say it is. Just another news, quick one, decathlon. I've made it to bronze 2, and I will be doing a video where I take on Quasifrodo. And we'll see who wants to go first, but it's going to be a good match. It's I think, you know, the ball's in my court to win it, but you just never know. That's for sure. So I might show the first few events that we do in the daily challenge. So that's it for now. As I said, like, share, subscribe, comments below. What's your thoughts on the marathon? Do you think that the marathon's broken? Let me know. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching.